The anti-budget. You're staring at a spreadsheet. The numbers mock you. That latte you bought on Tuesday? It's there, in bold red. The dinner with friends last weekend? A glaring reminder of your failure. You started the month with so much discipline, so much hope. But now it's the 25th, and your perfectly crafted budget lies in ruins. You feel a familiar wave of guilt, of frustration. You think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just stick to the plan? But what if the plan is the problem? What if strict budgeting isn't the path to wealth, but a psychological trap designed to make you fail? Welcome back to Hope to Wealth, the channel where we explore real stories and powerful lessons to help you build a life of financial freedom. Today, we're tackling a sacred cow of personal finance, the budget. For years, we've been told that the key to getting ahead is tracking every single dollar. We've downloaded the apps, created the complex spreadsheets, and maybe even tried stuffing cash into envelopes. And for many of us, the result is the same: stress, guilt, and eventual burnout. We end up feeling more constrained than empowered, more anxious than in control. But there is a better way, a system that works with your human nature, not against it. It's called the anti-budget, and it's not about restriction, it's about automation and freedom. It's the system that allowed me to finally stop worrying about every little expense and start focusing on building real, sustainable wealth. If you're ready to break free from the tyranny of the spreadsheet and discover a path to financial peace, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the steps to transform your financial life. Let's start with a story. This is Mark. At 32, Mark was doing everything right. He had a good job, was saving a little, but felt like he was constantly running in place. Every financial guru he followed on YouTube or read online screamed the same advice: you need a budget. So Mark dove in. First, he tried a popular budgeting app. He spent hours linking his bank accounts, categorizing transactions, and setting spending limits. For the first 2 weeks, he was a superstar. He checked the app daily, feeling a surge of pride as he stayed under his dining out limit. But then life happened. An unexpected car repair blew his auto category to pieces. A friend's last-minute birthday dinner tipped him over his entertainment budget. The app flashed red warnings. Instead of feeling in control, Mark felt like a failure. He started avoiding the app, the notifications a source of constant anxiety. Eventually, he deleted it. Next, he tried the spreadsheet method. He built a masterpiece of formulas and charts. But the manual entry was tedious. He'd forget a cash purchase here, a small online order there. The spreadsheet became a monument to his inaccuracies, a source of dread rather than clarity. He gave up after a month. Finally, in desperation, he even tried the cash envelope system. He felt ridiculous doling out wrinkled bills at the grocery store. What was he supposed to do for online purchases? The system felt archaic and impractical for his modern life. Mark's story isn't unique. It's the story of millions who wage a monthly war against their own spending habits, armed with tools that are fundamentally flawed. The problem isn't Mark, and it isn't you. The problem is that strict granular budgeting triggers a host of negative psychological responses. First, there's decision fatigue. A traditional budget forces you to make dozens, if not hundreds, of micro decisions every day. Can I afford this coffee? Does this fit in my grocery budget? Should I buy this book or wait? Our brains have a finite amount of willpower and decision-making energy. By constantly forcing these small, draining financial choices, budgeting depletes our mental reserves, making us more likely to make poor decisions later in the day, like ordering expensive takeout because we're too tired to cook. Second, it encourages a scarcity mindset. When you focus on what you can't spend, you live in a state of restriction. Your financial life becomes about deprivation. This is psychologically taxing and unsustainable. Humans are not wired to exist in a perpetual state of no. It's like a crash diet. You can do it for a little while, but eventually your willpower breaks, and you often rebound harder than before, which leads directly to the third and most damaging psychological trap. The third trap is the shame spend cycle. When Mark inevitably failed his budget, he didn't just feel disappointed, he felt deep shame. He internalized the failure, believing he was bad with money. This shame created a powerful emotional void. And how do many of us cope with negative emotions? We seek a quick dopamine hit. We spend. Mark would go on a small online shopping spree or treat himself to a fancy dinner, thinking, well, the budget is already ruined. What's one more thing? This is what psychologists call the what the hell effect. Once a rule is broken, we have a tendency to abandon the effort entirely. This revenge spending provides temporary relief from the shame, but it's quickly followed by an even deeper sense of guilt and regret, reinforcing the belief that he is incapable of managing his finances. This creates a vicious downward spiral. The strict budget leads to an inevitable slip-up. The slip-up leads to shame. The shame leads to impulsive spending for temporary relief. The impulsive spending leads to more debt and financial stress. And the proposed solution? You just need a more detailed budget. It's a cycle designed for failure because it pits your conscious, rational mind against your powerful, deep-seated emotional drives. You are trying to use logic and willpower to solve an emotional problem. It's like trying to hold back the ocean with a tama bucket. You might succeed for a moment, but the tide will always win. The fundamental truth is this: you will never get rich by tracking the cost of your lattes. Wealth isn't built on a foundation of restriction, it's built on a foundation of intentionality, automation, and a mindset of abundance. It's about focusing your energy on the big wins, not the small battles. It's time to stop fighting a losing war and change the rules of the game entirely. If this story of battling budgets and feeling that wave of shame sounds familiar, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe right now. You are not alone in this struggle, and in the rest of this video, we are going to break this cycle for good. This brings us to the turning point in Mark's story. And what can be the turning point in yours? After his last failed attempt, Mark was ready to give up entirely. He felt hopeless. But then he stumbled upon an old, simple idea, but with a revolutionary twist: pay yourself first. Now, we've all heard this phrase. Usually it means putting a little money into a savings account before you pay your bills. But the anti-budget takes this concept and puts it on steroids. It's not just about saving, it's about systematically and automatically funding your entire vision for your future before you have a chance to sabotage yourself. This is the heart of the anti-budget. You decide what your goals are, and you build an automated machine to achieve them. The rest, you can spend it, guilt-free. Here's how it works in practice. Step 1 is defining your big rocks. These are the 3-5 financial goals that truly matter to you. For Mark, it was 1. Maxing out his Roth IRA for retirement. 2. Saving for a down payment on a house. 3. Aggressively paying down his high-interest student loan. Notice what's not on this list: coffee budget, grocery limit, entertainment fund. We are ignoring the small stuff and focusing only on the moves that build serious wealth and security. Step 2 is to calculate the numbers. Mark figured out he needed to invest $500 a month for his Roth IRA, save $800 a month for the down payment, and put an extra $400 a month toward his student loan. The total for his big rocks was $1,800 per month. Step 3 is the magic: automation. Mark didn't rely on willpower. He went into his payroll portal at work and set up direct deposits. Now, on payday, his paycheck is automatically split. A portion goes directly to his primary checking account for bills and spending, but $1,700 of it never even touches that account. It's automatically routed: $500 to his Vanguard brokerage account for the Roth IRA, $800 to a separate high-yield savings account labeled House Down Payment, and $400 directly to his student loan provider as an extra principal payment. This is a crucial distinction. He didn't wait to see what was left over at the end of the month. He paid his future self first, automatically and invisibly. His wealth-building machine now runs on its own, completely independent of his daily moods, impulses, or feelings of discipline. This automation of his big rocks led Mark to the most profound and liberating discovery of his financial life: the guilt-free spending fund. After his automated transfers to investing, saving, and debt payoff, and after his fixed costs like rent and utilities were accounted for, the money left in his checking account was his to spend. All of it, on whatever he wanted, without an ounce of guilt. This is the core concept that shatters the traditional budgeting mindset. In a normal budget, every dollar you spend is a potential failure, a deviation from the plan. When you buy a coffee, a little voice in your head asks, "Should I be doing this? Is this in the budget?" But in the anti-budget system, that voice is silenced. The money in your checking account has already passed the most important test. Your future is already taken care of. Your retirement is funded, your savings goals are on track, your debt is being systematically eliminated. Therefore, every remaining dollar has the explicit job of being spent to enhance your current life. Do you want that $6 latte? Buy it. It's in the guilt-free fund. Want to go to that expensive dinner with friends? Go. Enjoy every moment. The money is there for exactly that purpose. You no longer have to track, categorize, or agonize over these small purchases. This flips the psychology of money on its head. You move from a mindset of scarcity and restriction to one of abundance and freedom. You are no longer policing your spending. You are enjoying it, secure in the knowledge that the big stuff is handled. The mental energy Mark used to waste on spreadsheets and apps was now freed up. He could focus that energy on his career, on finding ways to increase his income, or simply on being present with his friends and family without the background hum of financial anxiety. This is the true power of the anti-budget. It's not a system for tracking pennies. It's a system for buying back your time, your mental energy, and your peace of mind. It automates your financial discipline so you don't have to think about it. If you're ready to finally experience what it feels like to spend money without guilt, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because this next part is about making the system bulletproof for the real world. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but what about the messy parts of life? What happens when my car breaks down, or I need to buy a plane ticket for a wedding? This is a valid question, and it's where we refine the anti-budget from a great idea into a bulletproof system. This is where we introduce the concept of sinking funds. A sinking fund is simply a savings account for a specific, predictable but irregular expense. Instead of letting a $1,000 car repair bill derail your entire financial life, you plan for it. You create a sinking fund for it. Mark looked at his life and identified a few key areas for sinking funds: car maintenance and repair, an annual vacation, and Christmas birthday gifts. He did some quick math. He figured his car costs him about $200 a year in maintenance and potential repairs. That's $100 a month. He wanted to take a $2,400 vacation each year. That's $200 a month. He spent about $600 a year on gifts. That's $50 a month. So he added another layer to his automation. Along with his big rock transfers, he set up 3 more automatic monthly transfers from his checking account to separate high-yield savings accounts. $100 to car fund, $200 to vacation fund, and $50 to gift fund. Many online banks make this incredibly easy, allowing you to create multiple named savings, buckets, or sub-accounts. Now, when his car needs new tires, he doesn't panic. He simply transfers the money from his car fund to his checking account and pays the bill. There's no guilt, no stress, and it doesn't impact his monthly spending money. He's not stealing from his house down payment or his retirement. The money was already allocated for that exact purpose. Sinking funds are the ultimate buffer between your financial plan and the unpredictability of life. They turn financial emergencies into mere inconveniences. The final step is a periodic review. Once every 6 months or so, Mark takes 30 minutes to look at his system. Did he get a raise? He can increase his automated transfers. Are his goals changing? He can adjust the allocations. The system isn't set in stone. It's a living framework that adapts with you. This is the complete anti-budget. 1. Define your 3-5 big rock goals. 2. Automate contributions to those goals so the money never hits your primary checking account. 3. Create automated sinking funds for predictable, irregular expenses. 4. Spend everything else that's left 100% guilt-free. 5. Review and adjust every 6-12 months. It's simple, it's powerful, and it works because it's built for humans, not robots. So let's bring it all home. We started this journey staring at a spreadsheet, feeling the weight of financial failure. We've learned that this failure isn't a personal flaw, it's a system flaw. Strict, granular budgeting wages a war against our own psychology. It creates decision fatigue, fosters a scarcity mindset, and traps us in a devastating shame-spend cycle. The solution isn't more discipline, it's a better system. The anti-budget frees you from this trap. By automating your big wealth-building goals, your investments, your major savings, your debt reduction, you put the most important financial decisions on autopilot. By creating sinking funds, you prepare for life's inevitable surprises. And in doing so, you unlock the greatest prize, the ability to spend the rest of your money with absolute freedom and zero guilt. You stop tracking lattes and start building a life. You trade anxiety for peace of mind. This is more than an age-old money management technique. It's a mindset shift that can change your entire relationship with money. If this video gave you a new perspective, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Hope to Wealth for more stories that empower your financial journey. Now, I want to hear from you. What has been your biggest struggle with budgeting? Share your story in the comments below. And if you know someone who is stressed out by their finances, share this video with them. Let's change the conversation together.